One of the things I learned in high school, that nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. It was a coach that always told us this. So patience and perseverance about everything, but always have that spark of enthusiasm and optimism. And that's what always struck me about life at Phi Psis, is just about everybody was enthusiastic and optimistic.
From his beginnings in leadership as an undergraduate Archon, to jet-setting across the globe, to becoming a leader of his industry, Bob Dudley has had a truly remarkable journey and has epitomized what it means to be a Phi Psi.
I'm Bob Dudley. I was initiated in 1974 at the University of Illinois, Illinois Delta, number 1101. Those formative years in university, you learn to rely on each other through many things. And as a younger classman, you look up to the older classmen, you watch, you see, they help, they give you lots of advice. There are people that you study with that help you, give you advice all the way through it. It's a constant, rather than one event of advice, it's a constant reinforcement of brothers and people your own ages going through many of the things in life as you develop that just help form character. So I lived in the house for 3 years. There was a waiting list to get in, and then at the end, the very end, the last semester or so, moved out to give room for other people. But it was a remarkable experience. One, it was the history of the house itself. It was full of history, full of guys that were living and working and studying. It was 24 hours a day activity. It was a social place. It was quite a remarkable centering or center of gravity for life. It started with working with groups of people, studying together, but also how do you run a chapter house? How do you make it happen? We had a job one time that it isn't used anymore, called commissar, but it was actually manage the kitchen and the cook. And then organizing things, getting people to do things as a group, which we all did really well. Those things you carry on into life. As an Archon, I got the travel bug, so I loved traveling as a result of that, and decided in fact to go on and pursue a career that really was to see the world. And I think all of that goes back to those early days of being a Phi Psi. So one of the things I think I feel the best about as a career is having worked with actually one company for 40 years. And I've been married almost 40 years. So longevity and loyalty means a lot to me. So 40 years with one company, and then being asked to take it and kind of get it back on its feet. BP is a great global company that almost didn't survive. So I feel good about having gotten it back up on its feet, starting to walk again and starting to run again. It's quite satisfying for me.
On April 20th, 2010, one of the greatest environmental disasters in history took place with the Deepwater Horizon drilling accident. BP was plummeted into crisis, facing the most challenging time in the company's history. At this time of crisis, the company turned to Bob Dudley, naming him CEO and tasking him with leading the company out of its darkest hours. With his years of experience and unmatched leadership against all odds, Dudley repositioned BP as stronger and the safest leader in the energy sector.
So what was it like to step into the role of being a chief executive under a time of crisis? First thing was, I was asked. It was a sense of service. It was not something I was seeking out. And bringing together people that I knew really well to try to get through a really difficult, earth-shaking experience for a big company. It was probably 6 years of working in Russia as the chief executive of another joint venture. It was 50-50 BP and Russian. That was another very formative sense of experience and almost another crisis experience. So I think bringing those things together made me realize that one, you don't solve it. You never solve a crisis with a silver bullet. It's step by step by step. Leading people, enthusiasm, listening to people, having a little sense of humor is about the only way to get through it, actually, but always being quite serious about what you're doing.
Over the years, Bob has received accolades ranging from being named Petroleum Executive of the Year to being inducted into the University of Illinois Fraternity and Sorority Alumni Hall of Fame. However, one award that stands out is the 2009 award bestowed upon him from Queen Elizabeth. This incredible honor of being named Commander of the British Empire is one of the highest honors in Great Britain.
So as I head into a transition and retirement, what would be a legacy from it? I think actually one of them is the smooth passing of the baton to another leader. Our company has a little bit of a history of drama every time this is done, so I feel very good about that. Having done well-prepared set of leadership to pass it on smoothly, I feel really good about that.
Throughout his successful career, Bob has maintained his commitment to supporting organizations that are important to him. Bob's belief that giving back is a responsibility of a good citizen has served as a guiding principle in his life and has driven him to personify the idea of giving what you can, when you can.
I have always felt it's important to give back to Phi Kappa Psi. So through a 40-year career, sometimes you can't afford to do very much, but you contribute, you keep the link, and you keep funding because you know the importance of it. And then later in life, when you have more time, you can either give more time or funding. One of the most satisfying things for me giving back to Phi Kappa Psi was being involved in the complete renovation of a wonderful house that was built in 1911 in Illinois, 4th and Daniels, and looking at it today as a modern house with still the old character. That was really special to go back for that with my wife and see old brothers when I was there who helped to contribute as well to the rejuvenation of what was a beautiful piece of property falling apart that now will last another 100 years. One of the things you learn in life, and you learn it a lot when you're a Phi Psi, is it's really important as an individual, whether you're with a company or a country, building bridges is so important. And having an outlook on life of building bridges, and that's what I see together, the bridges are still there between Phi Psi brothers after all these years. It's so easy to tear down bridges, it's really hard to build them.